Alright, this is day 4 as we start working with nth roots. Instead of just square roots, we'll be doing cube roots, fourth roots, fifth roots, all of that good stuff. We are going to be referring to this chart, which will be provided for you. So, because we are not going to be using our TI-30XS multi-view, which makes me very sad. So we will, you can use a 4-function calculator if you need to, but this chart will have most of the information that you're going to need. Okay, so let me zoom in, because my, it's not really super clear, the clarity of these problems. This is the cube root of negative 1,000. Now, when you have an odd root, a negative number is just going to stay negative. So you can just think to yourself, what's the cube root of 1,000? And really the question that's being asked here, when you see the cube root, it's like they're asking what to the third power is going to equal negative 1,000. This is really the question. Okay, now I happen to know this one by heart, but if you didn't, you could just look here. Alright, they're saying what to the third power. So here we have n to the third power. You see 1,000, okay, that means 10 to the third power. Okay, so since 10 to the third power is equal to 1,000, then that means negative 10 to the third power will equal negative 1,000. Okay, so the answer is simply negative 10. Alright, looking at number 2. Same thing, alright, when they ask us the fourth root of a number, they are asking us what to the fourth power will give you this number. Okay, so looking at the chart, alright, what to the fourth power will give us 1,296? Well, that's 6. 6 to the fourth power will give us this. Alright? That means the answer is 6. Okay, looking at number 3, the fifth root of 32. Alright, this answers the question, what to the fifth power will equal 32? Well, glancing at the chart, fifth power, I see the 32 right away. 2 to the fifth power is 32. Alright, so that means the answer here must be 2. Let's take a look at number 4. Fourth root. Okay, this one is slightly tricky, so just be careful. I mean, it's quick, especially if you know what you're doing. Remember, fourth root is asking the question, what to the fourth power is going to give you negative 4,096? And the problem is this negative. Here we have an even power. And we know that if you do an even power, no matter what, you're going to get a positive number. So there is nothing that we could raise to the fourth power to get a negative number. Okay, it's fine when it's an odd root, like the third root of a negative 1,000 was negative 10. That's because negative 10 to the third power is negative 1,000. Okay, because it's an odd power, the negative gets to stay. But an even power, because of the whole negative times negative is a positive thing, there's no way we're going to get a negative number. So we will just put not possible. Alright, so in short, if you see an even root on a negative number, you know it's not possible. Okay, number 5. The cube root of 216. Alright, this is answering the question, what to the third power is equal to 216. Alright, that's what the cube root of 216 means. So, what to the third power, 216? That is 6. 6 to the third power is 216. Alright, so the answer number 5 is 6. Now number 6, fourth root. Again, this is answering the question, what to the fourth power is equal to 6,561. Let's check it out. Fourth power, 6,561, that's 9. 9 to the fourth power is 6,561. Okay, 9 to the fourth power. That means that the fourth root of 6,561 is 9. Okay, number 7. I see this negative under the radical. Does that mean that this is not possible? No, it does not mean that. Because it's an odd root, it's okay. It just means I'm going to have a negative answer. So what to the fifth power is going to give me negative 59,049. Okay, let's check the chart. Fifth power, 59,049. That's 9. 9 to the fifth power is 59,049. So that means negative 9 to the fifth power should be negative 59,049. Okay, so as long as it's an odd power, I can do it. It's just going to be a negative result. So the answer number 7 is simply negative 9. Now, the fifth root of 1 is the answer to the question, what to the fifth power is equal to 1? Obviously, only 1 to the fifth power can equal 1. So there you go. Don't really need a chart for that, do we? So that's number 8. Okay, number 9. Alright, so this is, we'll have to do this in 2 steps. First, let's just do the third root of 8. Alright, the third root of 8. In other words, what to the third power will give me 8? So when I check that out, I mean, I know it in my head, so I see the 8. 8 comes from 2. So 2 is the third root of 8. Okay, so I get a 2. But then I have 6 times this. And 6 times 2 is 12. So the answer number 9 should be 12. Alright, similarly, looking at number 10. First, we will do the part that's on the inside. So first, just focus on the cube root of 64. Okay, because that will tell us what this is. The cube root of 64. So cube root, so that means let's look at the third power. So if we want the cube root, we will work backwards. So I see the 64 and I see that it comes from 4. 4 to the third power. So the cube root of 64 is 4. Okay, that means that what I really have here inside the parentheses is 4. Okay, so the cube root of 64 became this 4. But then I still have this exponent, so it's really 4 squared, which is 16. Alright, similarly for number 11, first we just look at the fourth root of 2,401. Okay, so fourth root, 2,401, that is 7. Okay, fine, so we got 7. That means this inner part here is 7. So I have 7 to the fifth power. 7 to the fifth power. I don't actually know that off the top of my head. So I'll look back at my chart again and do 7 squared, third, fourth, fifth power. So there it is, 16,807. So that would be our answer to number 11. Okay, number 12. Man, this has like 3 steps to it. But the first step is to do this part right here. Let's highlight it. Whoa. I will just highlight it. I'm doing the 5th root of 32,768. So 5th root, 32,768 is 8. Okay. So this yellow part I just found is 8. So this right here is 8. So as I sort of replace things, okay, there's my 4th power, here's my -2, but this is multiplication. So this is -2 times 8. All right, I just did the replacement. So I just needed to simplify this. So this is -2 times 8 is -16. So I have -16 to the 4th power. I know this is going to be a positive something. So the negative is going to go away. So I know this is going to be the same thing as 16 to the 4th power. Now 16 is not on my list here. Okay, you know, it only goes up to 10. So I have a couple of different ways I can do this. But one thing is just to remember that 16 to the 4th power is just 16 times 16 times 16 times 16. So even with a 4-function calculator, I'm just going to pretend that this TI-30 is a 4-function calculator for a minute. So I could do 16 times 16, and I would get this. And then I could go 256 times 16. Oh, in fact, you know what? Here's how I prefer to do it. Let's do it in pairs. 16 times 16. 16 times 16 is 256. 16 times 16 again is 256. So really what we got going on here is 256 times 256. So you could easily do that on your bootleg calculator. 256 times 256. Alright, so even on a 4-function calculator, 65,536. And that will be your final answer. Alright, number 13. Fill in values for A, B, and C to make the following statement true. There are many possible solutions for this. I'm just going to show one of them. First of all, when everything is the same root like this, you really could look at it as one big cube root. So this problem is the same as this problem. The cube root of AB over C is equal to -8. Okay, because see how they're all cube roots? That'd be the same thing as having just the cube root of the whole fraction. Alright, so, well, ask yourself this. The cube root of what will give you -8? Let's just figure out this whole cluster. Well, hopefully you understand that, let's see if we can just pull this off the chart. The cube root, and we need it to be -8. Now we know it's going to be negative something, alright, to get the -8. So just focus on the 8. So I need the cube root, and I need it to give me 8 for an answer. I know this off the top of my head, but in case you don't, it's just a matter of starting off in the cube column and going down, because we need to get 8 for an answer, and you see that it is 512. Okay, so the cube root of 512 is 8. it works like that. So that means this has got to be 512. Well, negative 512. All right, fine. That means that this a times b over c has got to equal 512. So in fact, if you really wanted to make it simple, you could just set it up like this. All right, all we need is an expression in this form that will give us negative 512 for an answer. So like, watch this. I basically need three things. I need something times something over something, and these three things have to have the same value as 512. Well, watch this. I could just put in a 1 here and a 1 here and a negative 512 here. Alright, now that might seem like cheating because I just use 1s for everything except for the a value. But hey, it works, right? So why not just let a equal negative 512 and let b equal 1 and let c equal 1 as well. Alright, obviously this will simplify down to negative 512, and the cube root is in fact negative 8. So this is one good answer right there. Now I could take this 512 and divide it up and make these numbers different in any number of ways, but this is probably the simplest. Okay, I think that is the end of this entire lesson. Let me zoom out for a second, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, looks like this was a really short homework, probably because we had a quiz today. But that's it. I will see you on the next video. Peace out.